We all want a smooth snatch. We want to pull the bar in such a way that people watching know that we were born into this life, moulded by it, rather than introduced to it with a PVC pipe in a CrossFit gym. There is an exercise used now by many, though which for a while lived in obscurity, that 1. Helps you smooth out your snatch, 2. Improve the rhythm and timing of the lift, and 3. Makes more people in the gym think, wow, you are just so amazing, I wish I could do that. And it's an exercise that the world's strongest weightlifter Lasha Talakhadze is deploying in his training right here. It's actually an exercise he's been using more and more over the last couple of years as his main technical fix. It is, of course, the no-hook snatch. In this video, let's take a quick look at what the hook grip is, why you'd therefore train, as Lasha is doing here, without it, and how you can use it to build a smooth snatch. A no-hook snatch is, as you can probably tell by the name, when an athlete does not use a hook grip while lifting. Using a hook grip is the absolute default in weightlifting, and if you aren't using it almost always while snatching and cleaning, you are leaving serious amounts of weight on the table. How much? We'll get into the actual numbers later. To put it simply, the hook grip is when instead of grabbing a barbell how you normally would, or how you'd pick up an object or throw a punch, you instead put your thumb on the inside of your fingers and palm rather than on the outside. And what this essentially does is it creates an extra layer of friction between your fingers and the top part of your thumb. It means that as you rapidly accelerate the barbell and create greater amounts of force, the grip that you have on the bar also increases. All of that to say, with a hook grip, your grip will not fail you. It's also why weightlifters use thumb tape. It stops the skin on your thumbs from ripping while you lift and actually adds a bit more friction between the bar and you, which really helps. I'll put a link to our thumb tape below for you to try if you haven't already, but currently thousands of weightlifters use it religiously when they train, and so too probably should you. So why remove the hook grip and lift with what we know is a weaker grip? By removing the hook grip and lifting with a more normal grip, a no-hook snatch for example, you reduce the amount of power that you can put into the barbell. You also reduce the amount of speed that the barbell is able to generate. Remove that hook and you remove the power and speed. Additionally, you reduce the ability to add much of a horizontal movement into the bar when you make contact with it at the hip. Imagine if a heavy bar is accelerating and then starts moving away from you. It's going to be extremely tough to hold onto. Whereas if the bar is moving slower and continues a more vertical bar path, even after hip contact, it will be a lot easier to hold onto. And so essentially, removing the hook places constraints on your lifting. No hook makes you slower and forces you to be more perfect with your lifting. As my old coach and mentor Glenn Pendlay once put it, the lack of a hook grip eliminates the use of any jerkiness and assures smooth acceleration during the pull. The result is a smooth pull. This exercise has a very positive influence on the snatches of some athletes here, meaning at California Strength, and I encourage everyone to try it. Lasha Talakhadze uses the no-hook snatch regularly before competition and in the general physical preparedness phase of his training. Far out from competition, it allows him to perform a high volume of technically challenging work with minimal fatigue buildup due to the lower amount of absolute weight. And that word there, absolute, is important. And it's why he does this lift so close to competition, all the way up to 180 kilos. The absolute load is light. It's exactly 80% of his world record snatch of 225 kilos for just one single. But it's over 90%, maybe 95% relative intensity, i.e. the best no-hook snatch is certainly under 200 kilos, and so he's able to work at a higher relative intensity, relative to his no-hook snatch, while lifting less weight due to the lighter absolute intensity of his full snatch. I wrote an article back in 2018 about the hook grip and cited a study that showed some weightlifters who tested 75% of their power clean with and without a hook grip. At that weight, they could produce the same amount of force and speed, but above that weight, the difference increased drastically as the no-hook variation dramatically decreased the amount of force and speed that they could generate, and ultimately, the height that they could pull the bar to. Around that same time, I also interviewed Narek Vardanyan, son of one of the greatest ever, the late Narek Vardanyan. Having learnt this from his father, he spoke about placing what he called governors on the lifts. constraints that increase the technical difficulty of a lift while maintaining a high relative intensity. Quote, "If I do a no-hook snatch with 140 kilos, that's like me snatching 155 kilos. It's way less damaging to my body, and I can come in the next day and feel just as good." To also quote the legendary coach Max Ater, founder of Weightlifting AI, "The no-hook snatch really constrains the lift, so you're forced to pull a lot more vertically. There are so many variations of the lifts out there. Some will have a remarkable impact on your lifting performance, whereas others may even only contribute to worsening your technical errors." Max Ater has put all of his knowledge of exercise selection into Weightlifting AI so that it can actually detect your errors and make sure you're performing the correct variations for you. And you can get your free individualized program now and set your training goals at Weightlifting AI with code 2weektrial.